Okay, here's the ramp setup for the VannGo luxury restroom ADA plus 2. We're going to go over that now. So the first thing you want to do is just three things. Undo this one strap and take these two pins out of here. So first I'll take this pin out, and you want to put this in so you don't lose it. And second, we'll take this pin out and we'll put this in so we don't lose it. Then we're going to come over to this side. We're not going to take this pin out. Leave this pin in, and we're going to undo this strap. So we'll undo the strap. And notice that the ramp is still secure. It's not falling down. And there's one reason why that is, because if you look over here, you'll see that this one is still here. So you want to leave that one there until you're ready to put it down. Next thing you're going to do is take these wheels off and put them over on this side. So we'll pull these two pins here. And pull these wheels off and bring them to this side. And put the two pins in. Then you're going to lower this down just to take some tension off. So as soon as you start raising it, it's just only to release the pressure. Okay, so after you take the tension off here, what you're going to do is you're going to take the ramp and just roll it out. Okay, so when you roll it out, you want to pull it all the way out until it stops. And the reason is because when you set this ramp down, you don't want it to set down and break the door handle or scrape the side of the trailer. So you bring this all the way out. Okay, then what you'll do is you undo these. You undo these two rubber things. And you don't have to worry about this front ramp falling, because remember back to the beginning, you leave this pin in until the very end. So then what you do from this point, you come over here. Okay, so now that you have this side of the ramp down, what you want to do is take the ramp and push it in, or put these up. So now these will come up, and what you need to do is have at least one pin in your hand, right? So this one comes up, and a pin goes in the bottom. You got one pin there, and then you put the other pin in over here. Okay, same thing with this side. You lift this side up, and you want to have your pins ready, your hardware ready, and you put another one in right here. And so once this is set and you have these two up, that one is still up. You haven't put it up yet. So you slide it out, put this one down, put these up, and then if you come over here, you'll see a little gap here. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to slide the ramp into the trailer from this point before we touch that other section. So you can come over here and you can just lift, and you can see I'm not even stressing. You just lift it up and it slides real nicely right into place. You can see this foot doesn't need any adjustment because it's currently in a spot where the trailer's level and it looks great. If we were on more of a slant, then we would adjust this foot. Just the same as we would adjust this foot here. So now this part of the ramp is done. Now we're going to go ahead and put down this other side. So that pin that I was saying leave in here till the end, this is the pin that you're now going to take out. This pin comes out, and then the ramp just comes down real easy. So now that you set this side down, what we're going to do is take and put these ramps up, or these handrails up. So again, you got to make sure you have your hardware. So you're going to grab 2 of these, and you have 2 of these when you lift it up, so that way it doesn't fall back down on you when you have it set up. So you lift this one up and put a pin in, and then the other pin goes in the other one. I'm not putting it at the moment because we're doing this demonstration. And this side comes up like this, and this one slides in here, and you have another pin you put in here. Okay, so now that you have these 2 flipped up, we have this little space here we're going to fill. So they make it real nice where you pull out this pin, and then this just swivels around and goes right into place right here. You grab another one of these other pins, and it goes right in here to hold it in place. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to fill that gap. And you pull this pin off here, and these little turnbuckles loosen a little bit, because for stowing purposes you want them snug so they don't fall off on the road. And this just swivels over into place, and these turnbuckles, you loosen them and tighten it right into place. And same thing with this one, you'll loosen it. Remember, you got to hold this side while you're loosening it, or else the whole thing's going to spin. You got to hold this end while you're loosening. And we'll put it into place, then tighten it back up. And this process here doesn't take very long, but this is probably the longest process in the whole setup, is turning these little turnbuckles. It's a real simple, quick, easy setup. Okay. So now the 2 gaps are filled. So next, so after you have the rails up and these center points filled, you want to take one of these pins and you come over here. And you'll put one of these pins right in this hole, which will lock the ramp from sliding in or out. It will lock it in place. And that goes right here in this hole. And that locks the ramp in place up against the trailer, doesn't let it slide or move. And you put the little pin in the bottom. That's this pin. Okay, so now that we've locked in the pin on the other side to keep the ramp from moving back and forth, and the ramp is secure up against the trailer, the last thing we want to do is take your Allen key that's part of the set with the trailer, and you just want to check all the feet. So you want to make sure that the feet are placed flat against the ground, that the final leveling of it is sturdy and secure. And so this one at the moment you can see here is good. And we have the 2nd foot here. We have our 3rd foot over here. And the adjustability on these is with the Allen key. You can loosen these right here, and you can adjust it as necessary. And currently these are good. So the next step is, this is for long term now, we're going to remove these wheels. You'll take these wheels off and get rid of them, so that way it's a nice clean open line on the side of the trailer. So now we're going to pull this off, and now the setup of the ramp is completely done. And that was a 1-person setup, and it takes about 10 minutes to do it. It's very quick and easy. Okay, so now what we're going to do is talk about putting the ramp away and stowing it back in place. So first thing you're going to want to do is get your wheels and put them back on the trailer. Now that you have your wheels installed, again, this is going to be for setting it up now to put it all away and stow it and tow it away. So you have the wheels on. What you want to do is just crank this a little bit just to let the tension off, and slightly raise the blocks just a little bit. All you're doing is letting some tension off. Okay, then we'll come around and we'll start breaking this down on the other side. So what we're going to do is take this pin. We'll take the pin out. There's a cotter pin under here. You get the cotter pin out and you pull this out, and you leave that for when you're done stowing. We're going to put that back in, and then you take these out. So you loosen these. Ready? Okay, so now that you have these off, you're going to swing it around like this. You have your pin out of there, and this is step 2 is you're going to take these and you're going to twist these into the proper position and stow them in place here. Okay, so once you have these threaded in place, you're going to take this pin, put it through here, and you'll go right through this hole and stow it in here. And then you're just going to tighten these turnbuckles a little bit. If you don't tighten them, then it's likely to get loose and fall off on the road. So you want to make sure that they're secure enough to where it's not going to fall off on the road. So now that this is stowed, you can come back over here and we'll set this one down first. So this one's going to be set down first. In order to set this one down and stow it in there, you have to remove this pin and rotate this around. And actually there's this larger pin that locks this one in place here. Okay, now that you have this side open, now this is clear. So you're going to pull out your pins from down below. And then this settles down real nicely. And then you'll do the same thing on this side. Take the 2 pins out from down below. And this will settle down right on top of it. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to take this side and bring the whole thing up and stow it. So now that we have this ready to go, we're going to lift up the ramp. Ready when you do it, so that way when you lift it up you can hold it in place with this pin. So now that pin's in place and it's holding it, you take your little cotter pin secure enough it's not going to fall on you. And now we'll go over to these rails and we're going to pull these rails and fold them down. So now that this ramp is secure, what we're going to do is, being that we have the tension off of this, you'll see we'll just get the whole ramp and we're just going to pull it slightly away from the trailer a little bit. Real simple and easy, just like that. Now we're going to take the handrails and we'll put them down, and we won't have to worry about the handrail scraping the side of the trailer. Okay, now that the handrails are down, now we're going to go ahead and put this whole side up. So come on over here and I'll show you just one more time before we fold this side up. That's why we pull it away and pull the whole ramp out, so that when we're putting this up, we don't hit the handle or scrape the side of the trailer. So now we'll go ahead and raise it up. Have this up, it's not very heavy, it's very light. You come over here and you put these little straps on, and now it's ready to be pushed in place back on. Okay, now that we're ready, we're going to go ahead and slide the ramp back in front of the trailer and stow it back in place. So it's real easy. It'll stop, it'll go all the way and it'll stop. And then what we'll do is, remember before we had this pin here, So this pin is what's going to go to the other side and lock it in place. And we have 2 pins for the other side. So these two are what we use on the other side. So one of them is going to go right here. And that pin goes in there. And then the other one, which locks the whole ramp in place, is this one right here. That'll go in there, and you take this pin, make sure it's snapped on properly underneath. And that's it for that. Okay, so now you have the 2 pins locked in on the other side. And then the next step is we're going to take this wheel set and we're going to sew it on the front over here. Okay, so now this wheel set is on and we have one final thing to finish sewing this on, and that's taking your strap and the strap goes underneath here. So you do not go around like this. Go underneath like that. And we'll bring this over to this side. And same thing on this side. It goes underneath here. We don't go over the top. We go through here, just like this. And we'll secure this. And that is it for breaking down the ramp. So thank you everybody for watching. I know we're trying to get to 1 million views on this, so give it a thumbs up if you like it. If you're especially with VannGo, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you out there.